Hey everybody, your host, Dr. Diane Mueller, your libido expert here, talking about novelty and monogamy and why novelty is so important. So, novelty is that thing that really drives passion and desire in the beginning of relationships. And you know how sometimes in long-term relationships, it's very, very easy to wind up not prioritizing the relationship. It can be due to kids, it can be due to work, it can be due to just sinking into the safety and the familiarity of another human being, and all of a sudden the passion goes away. Well, the reason we're going to spend this whole month talking about novelty is because it is a huge reason why, there are many reasons, but it's a huge reason why passion can fall away in relationships. In the beginning of relationships, they don't tend to be quote unquote work. And for those of you that are listening and not viewing this, I'm using work in air quotes. The reason why sometimes we say relationships are work, there's a lot of reasons for that. But one is, in the beginning, we are completely driven by that dopamine, that desire, that brain cocktail of hormones that causes us to really chase that other human being. Causes us to want to be chased. It causes us to have that missing and that desire and that feeling of when am I going to see this person again? All of that is driven by a few different hormones, but dopamine is the main one. That dopamine is really what's creating that passion, that desire, that yearning for that other person. And when we start to see somebody over and over again, when we learn about any of their idiosyncrasies that are different than, say, some of our preferences, what oftentimes happens is that dopamine drive and desire goes away. So the work component of relationships comes down to a few different things, but one of them is creating that sense of dopamine, creating that sense of desire and that drive in a situation where it is not created naturally. So what I mean by that is that drive, that dopamine, that really fuels that passion, that is really driven from what happens naturally in relationships. That sense of leaving, of disconnecting, of being away from a lover and then coming back to them, that reconnection. And that disconnection, reconnection really is what creates so much of that passion and desire, right? And what happens in long-term relationships is we tend to have a tendency, and for most people, to be up in each other's businesses. We often live together. We do finances together. There's a lot that starts overlapping, and there's not that time for that disconnection to occur and that reconnection, right? So we're always in somebody's space. And when that happens, that whole dopamine, that natural chemical cocktail that gets released that drives passion, doesn't get created on its own. So some of the quote unquote work that happens in longer term relationships is realizing this and actively putting energy into creating that sense of disconnect and reconnect so we can come back together that is not going to be created on one's, own grounds. So that's a huge reason in these longer term partnerships why disconnect and reconnect is so important, because it's creating that level of that desire, of that dopamine, of that drive. So how do we do that in our longer term partnerships, especially when we are sharing oftentimes houses and kids and property and sometimes jobs and finances and, care for elderly parents and on and on and on. There's so much overlap and integration that happens, and that's beautiful. But within that, how do we begin to create that novelty? How do we begin to find that space, that gap where we can begin to miss each other? And that miss is what's going to allow that chemical cocktail of dopamine to really circulate again and really drive us towards that other person and into that desire state again. So please do subscribe to this channel, because this is the theme of the month. We're going to go into this in so many different ways: how to improve novelty in monogamy, how to support you in your long-term relationships to bring that passion and pleasure back. Remember, I do have masterclasses as well as deep dives to work with my clients. To learn more about working with me and getting started, please look in the show notes. And I'm Dr. Diane, your Libido Doc. I'll see you next time.